trouble.
So, got the wastegates, well, fitted anyway, they're not on. They're just sitting on there right now. But they're pretty close. I mean, they're not perfectly symmetrical to each other, but they're pretty close. It should work out fine. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to bring the exhaust right down next to the downpipe. And this one I'm going to bring down and shoot it underneath the car. Just got to keep it away from anything. It's, you know, flame-proof. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do tonight. And yeah, came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. My welding's getting a little better. I still wouldn't, you know, zoom up on it for you, but it's gotten better. Turned out pretty decent. It's a couple things I'd do differently. Haven't done it now, but I may change things around a little bit later once the car's up and running for a while, because I gotta get this thing running. I gotta get this thing running. All right, what's next? See how this looks. I think with a tire on there it'd be perfect. Let's see. Tire's gonna be here. Yeah. I mean, I could tuck it in the body a little bit. And I can almost cut it at an angle with the body. I'll have to see it with a tire on it before I change it. Maybe I don't want to stick it out that far. see, like, I was trying to make it like even with the body here. I'm gonna have to cut it just a little bit, but I mean that's like even with this trim. Just don't know if I want it sticking out that far on the bottom. But I can always cut it back. I got the right flange and clamp now. Apparently it's called an S400, and it's specifically made for turbos. So I had a 4-inch clamp on there before, and it was just, you know, incorrect. But it's not bad though. It's pretty good. Kind of cool looking. I think I might bring it back to the body though. I also don't want a bunch of heat coming pouring all over the fender either, so. And she's got to drive this thing around the street, so I don't want her hitting anything. It's not a curb feeler. Oh well. That's not bad though. So I got the pipes all done on the end. Turbo mount, which I'm not sure I like yet, but we'll give it a shot. If I like it, if it works, fine. If not, you know, one thing about metal, I can always cut it and change it. And then that down pipe. Alright, it's coming up pretty good. I'm gonna have to buy that damn $700 kit from Motion Raceworks for the boost control, I think, for the wastegates. The wastegate came out pretty good though. Almost looks like I can weld a little bit. Not quite, but almost. All right, tomorrow. Okay, so just a little update tonight. Didn't do a whole lot. I only had a couple hours in here. Actually, I only had about an hour in here. So I put the new coolant temperature sensor in. I ran the line to it. I gotta zip tie this so it's nice and tight on there because I don't like loose wires. And I think that's. And then this is the intake air temperature sensor. I'm going to have to put that, you know, up here somewhere as soon as I put my inlet pipe in there, whatever that's going to be. And then the other thing I did, so I had a standard 1-bar map sensor in this thing, and I wanted a 3-bar. So I got in the kit, I got in the Holly kit, I got the 1-bar to 3-bar wire harness adapter, and then I got a 3-bar map sensor. The problem was it doesn't fit in the same slot that the 1-bar does. So the actual I don't know what to call it, nipple, I guess, that goes down in the intake manifold is actually bigger. It's almost a ½ an inch, but not quite. So what I ended up doing was drilling out the manifold just a touch bigger to accept the nipple, and I put the seal back on there and pushed it in. It fit really nice and snug, but it could still fall out. So I built this little dealio here that bolts down to one of the top. I guess this was where a cover bolted down before, but so it bolts down there. I made this little deal. It'll hold that nice and tight on there. So under, you know, hopefully 20 pounds of boost, it won't push out. I thought it came out okay. I'll probably paint it manifold color so it kind of hides it a little bit. But yeah, everything else is good. Tied everything up. I gotta cut the zip ties, but other than that, we're good. I'm running the oxygen sensor around this way. I'm gonna loop it in here with everything else and tighten that up. And then I'll bring that over to to here, probably. Something like that. Also, I did it on time lapse, but I cut, well, I put this top flange on, which I have to completely, do the complete weld on it. But I put this on. This is that S400 flange. And then on the bottom there, I put that 4-inch double flange and clamp, the V-band clamp. And then I brought the pipe straight down. And there you can see it. There you go. So there's that clamp. Brought the pipe straight down. I made some pie cut bends and brought it straight out. Now I guess what I'm trying to do next is I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this pipe. I could go straight with it, but I was actually thinking, oddly enough, of kind of V'ing it or angling it the same angle as the fender there. But what I might do is I might cut it straight first and see how that looks. If I don't like it, I could always angle it, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it sticks out way too far. What I did was I stuck it out as far as this, the trim here on the fender, and then the whole thing tapers down, as you can see. So I was trying to stick it pretty much in line with that, thinking that was kind of like the farthest part out. But when you get down here, it hangs out a little bit, and I'm not so sure if that doesn't look stupid or not, so I'll think about it. One thing about metal, I can always cut it down, and if I don't like it, I can always weld it back together. But, I mean, coming from this angle here, it looks kind of goofy. And then, I mean, now when I put a tire on, the tire's going to be kind of in line with the fender, maybe a touch in. So that would be, if you line up the fender, you can barely see it poking out. See? This is the widest part of the fender here. And I mean, it's pretty much in line. I don't know. I'll let Sam look at it too. It's her car. She can make a decision on that. And if she hates it, we'll cut it down. If she likes it, we'll leave it alone. We'll see. Then I got it. Yeah. So all this is the elbow here is mainly welded. Please don't laugh at my welds. I'm still learning. I'll have to weld the flange on here, and then I'll have to weld all the pie cuts down there. But not bad. Coming out pretty good. And that will, with the wastegates in, that should end the hot side. So that'll be the end of that. Then I'll have to get some material and do the cold side. And I think I was going to get some bends and some, 90s and 45s and straights, but honest to God, I kind of like the pie cutting. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and get straight 3-inch aluminum tube, and I'll come straight out, and then I'll pie down, and then I'll probably do a 90 over, bring it here, and then slide it right through here. I'll have to trim some of this out of the way, and then I'll put the intercooler up front. Come from the turbo on this side. The turbo fits, I mean, it's like right here, the end of the turbo. So I can just notch some of this out of the way, this out of the way. I don't have to go crazy. I can just, put a small notch in there, get rid of some of that stuff, and put the aftercooler or intercooler, whatever you like to call it. The racing world calls it an intercooler. I work for Caterpillar. We call it an aftercooler. It's the same damn thing. But I'll put the intercooler up front here, and that should be good to go. I kept really going back and forth whether I want to run an intercooler or not, but everybody I've talked to that knows anything about hot rods and turbochargers, they say if I'm going to run pump gas at all, which I probably will some, to go ahead and put an intercooler in there to keep the air intake temperatures down. So that's fine. Eventually, if we get to the point of where we're putting a better manifold on here, we might get one of those water to air intercoolers underneath of it. I think that'll be kind of bitching. I think we could do a low-rise Holley manifold, an intercooler, and the top, and I think it'll still fit underneath the hood. I don't mind cutting the hood if we need to, but I'll try not to. That high ram looks just bitching on here. I just don't know if it's worth, you know, is it going to give me enough horsepower that's worth cutting the hood? I don't know the answer. We'll figure it out. Line lock's on, master cylinder's on. I can start doing brakes here pretty soon, or brake lines. I went ahead and gutted all the original stock line off the car, so there's nothing stock about it anymore. I have to do some more of the wiring. That's the Holley wiring over there. I got to figure all that out. I think that is all going right to the Holley harness, right to inputs and outputs on the Holley, which I have the Terminator X. So I have 4 inputs and outputs on the harness. I have the dash, and I think that has some inputs and outputs too, but I'm not too sure. And then I have the I/O module that has 8 more inputs and outputs. So I should have enough for everything we need to do. The cool thing about the I/O module is if we need more inputs and outputs, I can always buy a second one and stick in here. That's really cool. Really, in all honesty, it's very similar to Caterpillar. I was telling some of my friends at Cat this the other day that the ECM, the I/O modules are very, very, very similar to Caterpillar, to the point where I think if it was a 12 volt I/O from Caterpillar, I might be able to use it in here, but I think it's 24 volts. So I might test it one day just for giggles, just to see if it works or not. And there's the other harness. This harness here is for the inputs to the module, that race bar module. So this is the inputs to it. So it'll be like the trans brake button on the steering wheel, the line lock button on the steering wheel, the scramble button / bump button on the steering wheel will go through this. The neutral safety switch will go through this. The reverse lights will go through this. Brake light switch will go through this. And I believe the horn, for some reason, it's not an input, it's an output, but the horn goes through this harness as well. So that'll be the next harness I deal with. And I got this one in there. It's not strapped up all the way. I just taped it on some because I know I'm going to run more wires across there. But I'm just trying to keep it nice, high and tight, out of the way, nice and neat, just so it's not, looking terrible. So anyway, just a little update. I wanted to get you guys more information. I've been doing a lot of time lapse because I've been out here by myself. I'll try to get Danny out here to do some better filming. She does a hell of a lot better job than I do just by myself. So, all right, that's it for tonight. Bad ugly welds? What bad ugly welds? I don't see any bad ugly welds. Everything looks good from here. That wrap came out pretty nice. It's just a Summit wrap. I can't remember what the hell they call it, but it came out pretty nice. It's pretty snug, pretty tight. These steel clamps are a little bit of a pain in the butt to use, but they come out okay. I ran out of them pretty quick. The small ones aren't big enough to go around a 2.5-inch pipe, and the big ones are way too big for a 2.5-inch pipe. So I actually doubled up on a couple of them, but I started the wrap here, I clamped it, I went over top of the clamp, and then I went all the way around, all up to the back, and you can see one clamp right there, or one strap. But I think it came out pretty good. It should hold the heat in, keep me from burning myself. Hopefully keep it from burning the spark plug wires, or which are going to have to go, unfortunately, are going to have to go over top and around. So I'm hoping they fit decent enough. I think I can do the stock kind of, I don't know, 40, no, not quite 45. What angle? Here, I'll show you. So the standard bent deal here, which was going down before, but I think what I'll do is I'll go up like that, and then I'll use a straight on the bottom and just give itself enough lead to stay off the pipes. I think that'll be fine, because if I go tight, that'll be on it, but if I come way out like this, that should be good. I mean, that's plenty of clearance. No clearance. But anyway, the only one that'll work for the factory stuff is this one over here, and then of course the opposite one, number one on the other side. Yeah. So number 1 works and number 8 works. The rest of them all suck. So I'll be getting new plug wires. But kept working on the dash pad. Got this coated tonight. I'm not sanding it in the shop. I'll sand it outside tomorrow. But I got all this coated up here. So that should be enough there. The back side, I got to coat some more here. This is where the speaker hole was. I got to get that a little bit better. I got to put a little more in here. I'm going to put some more. I wanted this to dry a little bit. I'm going to mix up another batch and kind of bend this thing down a little bit and do the top. I got this gully right here to handle. So anyway, just want to give you a quick update. Out. Okay, I found the wrapper for this. It's Summit 350211-1, 2-inch wide by 50 feet long, volcano exhaust wrap. That's what I did on the main pipe coming from the driver's side exhaust manifold over, and I actually used 1-inch at 50 feet long volcano wrap for the actual exhaust manifolds. It wrapped them easier without having too much overlap. Cool. been doing a lot of time lapse lately, mostly because I'm out here by myself. My daughter, who was doing some videoing for me, got a job, so which is great for her, but bad for my camera work. Anyway, so I think you saw most of the time lapse on this, cutting the material, and I got it just taped together now. But that follows along pretty good. Dips down in there, and you know what? I just see a problem. Oh, I don't know if that's going to be in the way of the inlet. It might be in the way of the inlet. Well, that's different. That's definitely different. Yeah, I might have to change that. Crap. Well, that just goes to show you, everybody makes mistakes. This is what happens when you make a mistake. This is why I taped it together first. And I guess I'll fix it now. Oh well. Shit happens. Okay, so just a little update again. I'm still out here filming by myself, so there's going to be a lot of time-lapse stuff. Sorry about that. Starting to put in the intercooler. I keep wanting to call it an aftercooler. I work for Caterpillar. We call them aftercoolers. But I'm putting in the intercooler. It's a 3-inch. It's 24 by 12 by 3 or 4. I think 3. Looks pretty decent. I got it from Summit. Got the clamps from Summit also. So I started doing some welding. I've never really welded aluminum, just been welding steel. But again, I mean, you know, I'm not stacking dimes here, and I know it, but it's not going to go anywhere. So that'll be good. Not too terrible. I mean, you know, let's put it this way, I've seen worse. Anyway, a little update. So I just got this thing. I have some padding back here to shim it out enough so I can get the clamps on and off. I've got fittings or mounts, excuse me, I'm putting in here. Just doing like a clamshell thing now. I got it all kind of half, you know, rigged in there. On the bottom, I just used some square tube. I'm going to drill a hole on the bottom here that's big enough to get a socket through it, so it'll be easy to take off. I don't know how often you'll have to take it off, but if I have to take it off, I'll be able to take it off. I had to do a little notching here. So this was in here. So I had to get that out of the way. I'll smooth all that out, and I'll probably weld this up a little bit. Close it up, but that should not affect anything behind it. It had these bars here, these cross bars that came across the radiator or radiator core support. So I'm not sure if I need to put those back in or not. I'll have to feel my way through that. If I have to, I think I'll just make some shims to go up here and bolt it back in. But like I said, I don't even know if it actually needs it or not. I'm sure there's a reason the factory put them in there. I just don't know what it is. I mean, unless it's just that structurally weak. But okay. I got the wastegates kind of set up. I need to turn this probably to the back counterclockwise to get it to fit right. I'm a little worried about the hood. I'm hoping we'll have clearance for that. I kind of put this up here. I probably should have come down a little bit with it. I hope I don't have to patch that or change that or something, but we'll see. I mean, the hood's got a part, it kind of comes up on the inside, so it should be okay. I got that side done. I got this side done. I got this side wrapped. I got the exhaust manifold wrapped. I got the pipe wrapped, the crossover pipe wrapped. I have some wrap for that side over here. I have the manifold done. That came out pretty decent. I have wrap for this that just came in, so I can actually get that part done too. But there's no sense taking it off there yet. I'm still lining all this stuff up with the turbocharger. Ran into this problem. So the flange, this is a Force Performance 80 millimeter turbo. The flange on it apparently is different. So regular 3-inch clamps will not fit that. So I'm going to have to get one of their clamps to go on there and weld on some pipe to that. So I'll have a clamp in there, a clamp here, a clamp here. This will probably be, I'm just trying to figure out what, can I get this apart easy if I have to? So I think I'll probably 90 degree it here, come up here, and either probably 90 degree it here to go over to the intake, and I'll probably put a clamp in here and a clamp up there so I can get that off. This is approximately 4 inches and I'm running 3-inch tube, so I have an adapter for that. And so that ought to work. I'll probably weld the adapter here and then weld a clamp on out here so we can take that top pipe off. I just don't want to have to count on this pipe being, or this clamp being the one I got to take off. I think if I put one in here and then up there, I think I'll be able to get that whole pipe out of the way, and that'll be enough. If I take something apart, I can get it apart. Trying to make this thing as serviceable as possible. I'm going on drag and drives with it. Well, I should say Sam's going on drag and drives with me with it. So I want to make it serviceable and make it easy to work on. I got the stuff for the spark plug wires. I found a brand new set of spark plug wires in my shop. They're MSD wires. So I just bought LS ends, the ends here. I bought the LS ends, and then I bought some straight ends for the bottom from Summit, and I'll just build it myself. I have the pliers and the clamp, so that shouldn't be a problem. I got the roll control in. I bought all the brake stuff to make lines, fittings, lines, all that stuff, all the adapters. The Hurst roll control uses a 1/8-inch pipe, so I had to get an 1/8-inch pipe to 3/16. 3/16 tube of brake line. All right, well, like I said, just a little update. So another update I just want to also let you know, I just bought a whole bunch of parts. Amy bought me some shelves. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see the shelves. These aren't bad. Supposed to hold like 3,000 pounds. We're going to probably put the torture test of these things. But got aluminum piping, all 3-inch. Here's that adapter. So it's a 4-inch to a 3-inch swedge or adapter, or whatever you want to call it. So I can weld this part up, and then I'll weld the clamp side onto that side. I bought a 4-inch clamp for it, but it actually won't fit, so oh well. This is a flex fuel sensor. I got it from Summit. It's a nice piece. It's got a crossover here. So the 5/16 or it's probably 3/8 line that feeds the normal sensor also has another bypass around it, so I don't lose any fuel flow. It came with the sensor. It came with the mount or an adapter. It came with the fittings, and it came with the pigtail. $200. I mean, it's not bad. Okay, I also got some stuff from Motion Raceworks in. These are all the fittings for the CO2 boost control. Got, let's see, where the hell they go? Oh, there. Got MAC valves, air tank, lines, brackets, sensor, and MAC valve mount, or I guess bracket or mount. I also got another one of their buttons, button bracket for the steering wheel, and I got one of these mushroom cap buttons. I figure sooner or later Sam's going to be driving with gloves on, and this might be easier to hold the trans brake down. So I got that. Some more stuff from Summit. I got some pass-throughs. This is the way I can run power and ground into the module. I got some 6-gauge cable, whole bunch of 6-gauge cable terminals. Yeah, don't be fooled by this. I thought each one of these was a single, and each one's a double. So instead of getting 8, I got 16. No big deal. I'm sure I'll use them sooner or later. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, fuel line from Eastwood Company. Also got a new Eastwood fuel line tool from Eastwood Company, and this thing here is pretty cool. This actually straightens out the fuel line, or fuel line. Straightens out the brake line. So 3/16 and 1/4-inch brake line. It's got rollers in it. You run it over there, it straightens it right out. I bought some sleeve for spark plug wires, heat sleeve. I'm going to put that over the wires. Just anything I can do to keep the heat off of them, because I'm going to run them over top of the manifold. I've got new spark plugs. Oops. Yep, there you are, spark plugs. Here's those ends I was talking about. So I'll just clamp these on and make it good. And there's the straight ones. Old filter. Here's that exhaust wrap. It's a little bit different color. I'm just gonna have to eat it. No big deal. That's actually the same color as I got, but that's a little different. No biggie. Bought some more straps for them. I went ahead and got new bearings for the front rotors. The ones that are in the car, I'm sure from 1979. There's a new brake rotors, new calipers, new pads, new brake lines. Dorman has a kit. It's got a whole bunch of just 3/16 fittings for flare fittings for the brake lines. Also bought this little kit from Summit. I thought maybe some of these big ones might actually fit in the Chrysler or Dodge style master cylinder. Unfortunately, they do not. No biggie. Like I said, I'm sure I'll use them somewhere. What else did I get here? What the hell is that? Oh, that's that heater hose bypass. So LS has 2 different size heater hoses, like pretty much every vehicle Chevrolet ever put out. This is a bypass to this is a bypass to go on there, and you can see the 2 different sizes. It just loops it. Apparently you can't just block them off, you have to loop it, otherwise it'll overheat. So bought that too. We're getting close. I think we're going to be making some sound, some noise, some smoke, however you want to put that, here in the next couple weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. and I'm sure you'll see it. Again, I wouldn't say I'm stacking dimes, but it's really not coming out too bad. On the other side, I mean, you can see like these are my earlier welds, and these are my later welds. It's getting better. It's getting better. Let me show you this over here. I know you guys are looking at the video going, Jesus crap, what a mess. I know. I'm terrible at cleaning up after myself. Anyway, I built these brackets here. So I welded a nut on the back of this one so it bolts right to it. I made the tab so I can bolt to the intercooler. Again, I keep wanting to call it an aftercooler, Caterpillar thing. Anyway, there, and then I built these brackets down here. I actually put holes all the way through the bottom so I can unbolt it easy from the bottom of the car. I don't know that I'm going to ever have to take it back out again, but if I do, I wanted my life to be not a living hell. I got the new bracket in for here. I got that. I just went ahead and bought it from Force Performance. That's where I got the turbo from. So I just got that from them. But it should be real good. So far I'm real happy with it. I wouldn't say I'm welding like a pro, but it's again, I did this right here. It's really not too bad. I'm kind of happy with it. Okay.
Yeah. People are online.
Yeah. Their interpretation, or what kind of mood they're in that day.
Yeah.
So Stan, top.
All right, I'm just gonna change the direction of the port here. After putting this on the car, the port's sticking straight up, so I want to move it back. I think it'll be easier to plumb everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the old drill press here, pop everything loose. I got some tape on the bottom, tape on the top. I don't want to scratch it all up. It's a race car, so I'm sure it's going to get scratched up, but no sense doing it right away, right? Okay. I'm going to desperately try not to lose all this crap. Take 4 out of the 6 out. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on it. A little bit of pressure on it. And there goes one. Find that screw real quick. Where'd you go? Alright, I have to find a flashlight for that one. Okay. So I marked on here where I want the port, so I'm just going to turn it to be about right there. Carefully push this down, trying desperately not to angle the inside of this thing like I'm about ready to do here. Almost looks a little mangled there, doesn't it? Okay. Right there. That's pretty good. A couple of these screws started. I put 4-pound springs in it because I'm going to control everything else with the Holly and Mac valves. There we go. Okay, I'll go see if I can find that other screw. Found it. sits like this, and that puts the port back toward the firewall. Okay, and this is the driver's side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to turn it clockwise, one hole will do it. Give it a little loosen on all of them. Take out 4 of them. Trying not to drop any of the screws this time. I just leave the 2 screws that are opposite each other, here and here. So put this here. Put a little pressure on it to keep it together. This time we're not going to drop the screw. Or the tool. And gently pick her up. We're going to turn it 1 hole. And we're going to put her down nice and gentle like. Grab it back here. There it goes. Okay. Put in one on the opposite side. Line it up. Okay. Now, there's 6 bolts, so it's hard to do like a 5-lug star pattern. But when you got 6, I just skip 2. So I'll do this one, skip this one, skip this one, do this one, skip this one, skip this one, and then just go around. Or actually, don't skip 2, hit the second one. So skip this one, hit this one, skip this one, hit this one, and then do the reverse side. Hope you can hear my dogs, otherwise there's just no fun at all. Okay. That's it. All right. Putting the hot side on. Here's the driver's side, comes across over here, the passenger side. And you're gonna say, Mike, why are the wraps different colors? As simple as this. Summit ran out of this, so I had to get this. There's your down pipe, all the way down, comes out under the fender. I think it looks pretty good. I got enough room up here for heat and anything like that. I measured the bottom here. It's actually up higher than the frame, so we should be fine as long as I make sure Sam doesn't run into curbs. But I think it came out pretty good. Outside in there, I wrapped this part too. Anything under the hood, I'm just gonna leave this thing open. This is all stainless, so I'm just gonna leave that wide open. Not worry about it. Got the turbo bolted in. Here, let me bring it down. Well, hold on. All right, let's just bring it down a little bit. That's good. Okay. So you can see on this side, there's the driver's manifold that I flipped upside down. I cut it and put flanges, welded flanges onto them so we can clamp it on and off very simply. There's where the wastegate's going. Pipe will be all the way over here. Comes around, goes into the turbocharger. This side here's a little easier. Just comes straight up into the turbo wastegate here. Running twin wastegates and a single blow off. It's an 80mm turbo. I don't know, should run good. Should run real good. Okay, I guess I'll probably put this thing on time lapse and do the cold side.